بإله العالمين المصطفى أبا القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. أما بعد، قال الله في كتابه الحكيم: قل لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إلا المودة في القربى. The Quran says, say, I do not ask of you any reward for it, but love for my near relatives. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. We're here to remember a pious lady that is the daughter of the gateway of knowledge, the daughter of Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen, Sayyidat Zainab alayha salam. When we come to analyze or look at the life of Zainab, some people only look at the life of Zainab through Karbala. But when Zainab alayha salam was in Karbala, she was at a late age. She was married, she had children, but the only aspect that people look at in her life is Karbala. But when we look at the other aspect of her life, there is many things that we can learn. As Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam says, my aunt Zainab is, she is learned, but she was never taught. So she knows all this knowledge. And how do you expect a woman who is born to the gateway of knowledge? As Rasulullah says that, أَنَا مَدِينَةُ الْعِلْمِ وَعَلِيٌّ بَابُهَا. Rasulullah says that I am a city of knowledge and Imam Ali alayhi salam is its gateway. And this is his daughter Zainab alayhi salam. If you see anything less in Zainab, there would be an error. It can't be that the daughter of the gateway of knowledge isn't knowledgeable. Zainab alayhi salam, we're here to remember her death. And she was poisoned because of her mission, this mission to spread Islam, this mission that Rasulullah brought out. And through that, she continued to spread Islam. And through her life, and the life of others, our Imma, and other holy people that have dedicated their lives to Islam, to the love of Ahlul Bayt, I have chosen this ayah because Rasulullah says that from you I don't ask anything. All I ask is that you love my near relatives. One of the companions asked Rasulullah when this came down, he said, "Oh Rasulullah, who are your companions? Who are those near companions that we are supposed to love?" Rasulullah 3 times said, Ali wa Fatima wal Hasanain. 3 times he mentioned this is who you need to love. When we say love, is it through the tongue? I just love Ahlul Bayt. Or does it have other things that tie into this love? A true love is accompanied or entails obedience. When you love Ahlul Bayt, you obey them. A person who loves somebody and that person, let's say your father, tells you a command. He tells you, for the next hour, don't go outside. If you love that person who gave you that command, you're going to obey them. Another aspect of this love is understanding or knowing who you're supposed to love. When I say love Ahlul Bayt and you say who are Ahlul Bayt, how can you love someone that you don't know? That's what comes the next process of this love that tells you to go and learn about the Ahlul Bayt. Through this love, this action that you say that you love Ahlul Bayt, it requires you to go and learn about Ahlul Bayt. That's why we have these programs. That's why these programs are important. Even in oppression, people upheld these programs. As when Russia was in the Soviet Union, the Russian Muslims in that country used to have a funeral whenever there was a program for Ahlul Bayt. So that whenever the secret police would come, that they would ask, why are these people crying? They said, oh, they just lost a family member. This is what they're crying about. Even in oppression, these programs and this love is still required. This love that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is told to tell us about doesn't come with any circumstance. It doesn't say, but only love the Ahlul Bayt if you're not living in oppression. If there's not tyranny amongst you. It doesn't say that. It says love them. That's the end of it. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So our Russian brothers, when they were oppressed, they were able to uphold these programs. But when we live in a free state, in a free country, when it is difficult upon us to uphold these programs, then that's the problem. And if we recognize this problem, then we have to fix it. And this is for whatever age group. It doesn't matter if you just learned about Ahlul Bayt or you're nearing the end of your life. If you love Ahlul Bayt, nothing should stop you from honoring them or remembering them. Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam says, I love these majalis. I love these gatherings. When my Shia remember us. Whenever we have a need or a want, we always turn to Ahlul Bayt. If you're sick, there is nothing that's going to stop you from going to Karbala to get a little sand to hopefully heal you. Whatever issue that you have, you're going to go to Imam Rida alayhi salam. But when you're there, not wanting, not needing, there isn't an excuse for you. You say, if there's a program, you say, I don't need anything today. This Friday, alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed me with a job. Allah has blessed me with good health. Next Friday, inshallah, I'll be, Imam al-Kadhim alayhi salam is coming up soon. Inshallah, I'll be at that program. But like I said, this love, it doesn't have any excuses. As the hadith says that, as I don't have the whole hadith, it says that Allah has made salah wajib. Except when you're traveling, there is salat al-qasr. So there's a change. He has made fasting wajib. Except if you're ill, you can't fast. He has made hajj wajib. Except if you can't afford it, then it removes. He said the thing that he didn't remove that is wajib was the love of Amir al-Mu'mineen. The love of this Ahlul Bayt. There is no, if you can't afford it, if you're poor, if health reasons, you can't love. No, there is no, it's continuous. That love needs to be completed. There is no excuse for not loving, for not remembering the Ahlul Bayt. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam says, O Lord, have mercy upon these eyes which have shed tears in compassion for us, and upon those hearts which have been restless and blistered for us. So our Imam come, and this was one of his companions says that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam was in sujood when he was doing this prayer for us. But when it comes for us to remember the Ahlul Bayt, when they were living in oppression, do we need oppression upon us in order to remember Ahlul Bayt? As we hear stories about somebody visiting Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and at the time, the ruler at that time said that you have to have your hand cut off to visit Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So this person had visited Imam Hussein in the year past. So he said, you have taken my hand last year, so here's my other hand. Does that oppression need to come back for us to honor the Ahlul Bayt? Does the freedom of being able to gather at whatever time, if they say 7 o'clock, do we need to each have a person standing at the door to cut off a hand in order for you to remember Zainab alayhi salam? Is that what it needs to be down to? Does the A'immah sit there and say, oh Allah, have mercy on those who have lost their hands for us? Or do they say, oh Allah, have mercy on just them remembering us? Zainab alayhi salam, who we are here to remember, when she was born, Fatima alayhi salam brought her to her father, Imam Ali alayhi salam, and said, what name should you choose for this child? And he said, I'm not going to give a name before my brother Rasulullah. Rasulullah was on a journey. Some riwayahs say 2 days, some say 3 days. So for 3 days she didn't have a name. So when Rasulullah came back, he said, I'm not going to name her, I'm going to have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala name her. So Jibreel alayhi salam brought the name from Allah, Zainab, Zainuab, the beauty of her father. This woman who when she was 5 years old, narrated or the story of Fadak and what happened and the speech that her mother gave at Fadak. This woman that taught people in her community. This woman that stood up against oppression. Right now we have no oppression, we're free. But we need to learn from her example. Even in oppression, she was standing and fighting. One of these majalis, we take them lightly because we're free, because we live in this rahmah, that we can be here to remember Zainab. We can be late, we can miss one of the ma'soomeen and come back and remember them. But there was a woman in Iraq, she's an older woman who, it was Muharram, and she didn't live close to a mosque. So that night, she said, I'm going to make it my goal to make it to the mosque. She tried to reach out to people to give her a ride to this mosque. At the end, she had to walk to the mosque, which was a couple miles away from her house. It said that night in her dream, she saw Zainab alayhi salam sitting right next to her in that mosque, wearing all black, crying with her. It said that if the A'immah don't attend this majlis, they are informed about it. The angels say, your Shia have remembered you today. All we want is for them to remember us. Right now, Zainab, her grave is in oppression. We can't visit her grave because where we live. But we can be here and remember Zainab. And the angels or she will be in attendance to see how her Shia remember her. This Zainab who the people didn't see her shadow. But when she went to Karbala, her brother, she called for Hussein, she called for Abbas, and they weren't there. It said that she looked left and right until she saw Imam Hussein alayhi salam on the sands of Karbala. It said that Shimr was sitting on his chest. It said that he was getting ready to cut off the head of Abu Abdullah. It said that Zainab, in every time that there was a death in her life, when there was a death of Rasulullah, Imam Hussein alayhi salam was there. And he would take her away. He would be her patience. He would comfort her. When her mother passed away, it was Imam Hussein alayhi salam that was there, who comforted her, who gave her patience. when her brother Imam Hassan alayhi salam or her father, both of them, Imam Hussein alayhi salam was there to give her patience, to comfort her, to give her strength. But when she saw shimr on the sadr of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, she yelled out, "Al-yawm mata jaddi, al-yawm matat ummi, al-yawm faqadtu abi." This, her name, as we said, was Zainab, the beauty of her father. When she saw her brother, she was looking left and right to see if there was anybody to console her, if there was anybody to support her, but she was looking that there was nobody there to support her. This time alone, she was there by herself. She looked left and right, and she saw the Hawashim, and she saw the people, the women of Bani Hashim. She saw them complaining, "Oh Zainab, oh aunt, my ear hurts. Oh Zainab, my back hurts. Oh Zainab." She saw that she needed to be the comfort, the support. It said that they chained them from their necks. It said that they put chains on them in that hot weather. When Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam was asked, "Oh Imam, oh my master, what was the worst experience that you had?" He said, "Ash-Sham, Ash-Sham, Ash-Sham." It said that when they reached Sham, the clothes of Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam had turned red from the blood. It said that people were throwing garbage at them. They were cursing them. They were cursing these holy people, the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the people that we were ordered to love. But when she reached Sham, she was put in a dungeon. She got the women to be calm, and it was at night. It said that she was there she said that I was the one who used to have maids. I was the one who used to have servants. She's in this dungeon. She's being quiet because she doesn't want the others to hear her. But when she wakes up in the morning, she hears Amma, Amma, Jaya Zawjat al-Amir Tfarraj alayna. She hears Aunt, the Hawashim are calling her, these Alawi are calling her and tell her, "Oh Aunt, wake up." As she had stayed the whole night awake. Imam Zain al-Abidin says that there wasn't a night that I didn't see my Aunt Zainab praying Salat al-Layl. Even when she was sitting, sometimes she wouldn't have the strength to stand up and pray Salat al-Layl. So she would pray while sitting. It said, she told them, "Why does the Amir's wife want to come to us?" They said, "Because she wants to laugh at us. She wants to laugh at our situation. She's proud of her husband." But at this time, this wife of the Emir of Yazid, she didn't know who these people were. The wife that was coming down to them to see them, her servants brought out a chair with jewels on it, a chair that had diamonds and jewels. And when they opened the door, she had the best of clothes on. Before she came, Zainab told the women, she told them, "Don't cry." She told them, "Don't say a thing." She told them that you are the grandchildren of Rasulullah. You are the ones who the angel bring barakah to your step. She told them, "Just look at my face and don't react and don't speak." It said that when this woman came, Hind, Zainab alayhi salam sat in front of her. And so this woman asked, she told her, "Where are you from?" Zainab alayhi salam said, "I am from Medina." She didn't say my grandfather's city, that I'm the granddaughter of Rasulullah. She said, "I am from Medina." Hind asked her, "There's a lot of Medina. Which Medina are you from?" She said, "Medinat Rasulullah." So Hind, because this person, this wife of Yazid, was a servant in the house of Amir al-Mu'mineen, she says, "I used to live in that that area. I know those people. Do you know the people of Medina? She said, yes, I do. She said, can I ask you about the people of Medina? There was a family, I was a servant in their house, and they would give me food before they would eat. Can I ask you about them? She said, yes. She said, can I ask you about Hussein? Zainab started to cry. This led the other women to start to cry because they saw the reaction of Zainab. They told her that Imam Hussein alayhi salam, his head is with your husband Yazid. She asked about one after the other until she asked about Zainab. She told her, Ana Zainab. Zainab, after this though, people don't understand that Zainab sacrificed everything in Karbala. The lion-hearted woman or lady of Karbala is what one Muslim called her. When she reached back to her home in Medina, when she knocked on her door, this experience, this event had changed her completely. Her husband asked her, "O Amat Allah, man anti?" Her husband asked her, "Who are you?" when she knocked on that door. When she walked through this door, Zainab alayhi salam sacrificed 2 sons in Karbala. But she only remembered, this shock only hit her when she walked through the door and saw that empty room of her children. Inna Allah wa inna ilayhi raji'un.